The Choice is Yours, a reflection on equity by Heather Cunningham. Diversity and inequity are innate parts of being human. It is what makes us unique. We all have special talents, either learned or born into, that create that diversity and inequity. Inequity is not always a bad thing. It can be the fuel that drives someone to reach higher goals and pursue something they didn't think possible. When most people think of diversity, the color of skin is what they are usually referring to. However, diversity is simply being different, and aren't we all extremely different? We have different religions, families, interests, talents, abilities, you name it. When I think of inequity, I think back to my dad as a child, barely getting by with his parents and 5 brothers and sisters on the farm. They worked hard, had very little money, and they all dreamed of having more. The inequity in class drove each of the 6 children to put themselves through college and land successful careers later in life. Inequity also makes me think of my start as a teacher. After graduating college and working on the teaching program, I chose to stay home with my first child instead of student teaching. This was after a long wait in attempting to start a family, which I guess is an inequity in and of itself. Not everyone has the ability to have children right away. So there was no other choice for me than to stay home and raise my child. After my divorce 7 years later, I was offered the opportunity to go through the alternative teaching program rather than student teaching and taking 4 additional classes. Parents and fellow teachers treated me like an uneducated buffoon. They didn't know I was already a college graduate. They just assumed I wasn't smart because I was in the alternative license program. I let them think what they wanted and treat me unkind, and worked hard to show them the teacher I could be. I taught my first year with 30 students, went to school every weekend in eastern Colorado, studied at night, and still managed to successfully raise my 4- and 7-year-old by myself. Not only did I earn the teacher's respect, but I became a leader in my school. When my children were 12 and 9, I realized the inequity they faced in learning in a small rural town. They didn't have access to technology. The teachers didn't have access to new PD, and I knew my children's education would suffer. So I moved us to a larger suburban area. They went from a school district of 100 teachers and around 2,500 students to a district of over 6,500 teachers and 62,000 students. Their opportunity for growth and better education rose significantly. I had evened the playing field for them. I chose for them to have something better. When I interviewed for jobs in their new school, I felt the inequity again. The college-educated, somewhat affluent teachers were skeptical whether this country bumpkin would do the job. I was skeptical too, to be honest. My first year was difficult. I had 31 students, 3 of which were severe special needs. I had access to technology, but I didn't know how to use it. Back in my other school, we had had 1 tech lab, and only the tech teacher was allowed to use it. Additionally, growing up, I had my dad or my ex-husband, both of which were tech experts, to help me. Now I had to rely on myself. So I sought out every tech professional development I could. Luckily, the district I was in was full of resources. That helped, but it still wasn't enough. So I enrolled at CU and decided to educate myself in technology so I could level the playing field again for myself this time. It's taken me almost 4 years to do so, but I will finally graduate in May. Even better than graduating, I've learned not only how to use the technology, I teach it to others. My students have greater opportunity because of my choice to better myself. My inequity became my strength. Now in my district of 6,500 teachers, I am a leader who teaches them how to be better teachers. So in the end, inequity can be a good thing. The choice is yours in how you choose to move forward in this world. Make the right choice. The Choice is Yours, a reflection on equity by Heather Cunningham. Diversity